and welcome to Story Stash. I'm your host Duncan, and these are some of my stories I've written. Today I'm reading from my book Star Guardian 2, and this is Chapter 8. Be sure to subscribe to get the latest updates. Now, let's get started. Chapter 8, Ori Major. By the time the shuttle arrived and docked at our airlock, we were all dressed in our away team uniforms and assembled on our side. Jem and I had fetched Tobis from the brig and put restraints on him. He did not fight us. I guess he did not know the number of our crew, or he might have tried something. I did not trust him. I felt somehow this was not over yet. Ship indicated it was safe to transfer, so we entered our airlock. A moment later it closed, and the shuttle airlock opened, and we stepped out into the shuttle. We were greeted by a familiar face. "Commander Quan, this is a pleasant surprise," said Kaluna. "I was fortunate to be in the system when the news came through that you were visiting. I volunteered for the assignment. Is this your prisoner?" asked the commander. "Yes, his name is Tobis. He is the leader of the pirates responsible for the destruction of the Apollunar and many other civilian freighters. I trust your team will take good care of him," said Kaluna. I raised my eyebrows at that. She seemed to value life, but she was all but spelling out to the commander this was the being responsible for the death of his family member Yarin. "Is that so?" He waved at two of his team, and they secured him to a seat in the back of the shuttle. They scanned his ID chip. "Brian, good to see you in person. I believe a drink is in our future," said the commander, as he clasped my forearm in what I recognized as a warrior greeting. I did not think of myself as a warrior, but as a diplomat. I reciprocated. "Yes, may I present Jem?" "Captain Jem, this is Commander Quan," I said. The commander saluted the senior ranking officer. "Pleased to meet you, Commander," said Jem. "This is Lane, a recent addition to our crew." "I am honored to meet you all. If you will please take a seat, we can undock and take you down to the planet's surface," replied the commander. We all took our seats. Commander Quan waved to the pilot. Soon we undocked and were descending through the atmosphere. Ori Major is a beautiful planet, and the view from the shuttle as we descended gave us an excellent view. We landed at the spaceport, where Kaluna and I had arrived last time. This time we were greeted by Minister Taran himself. Our status as allies made life so much easier. Tobis was taken away by Commander Quan and his team. I wondered if he would be likely to suffer an accident in his captivity or not. I did not care if he did. He tried to kill me, so he is lucky to still be alive, as far as I was concerned. Kaluna and I made the introductions to the minister. One of his staff ran an ID scanner over Jem and Lane's arms. Minister Taran tapped a few things into his device. "I've made sure you each have diplomatic status for your visit to the Ori Confederation. It should help you get through any red tape, should the need arise." "That is most kind, Minister," said Jem. "Before we proceed, do you have need of rest or food or anything?" asked the minister. It was about mid-morning local time here at the spaceport. "No, we are ready to proceed, Minister," replied Jem. "Excellent," said Taran. He escorted us to a rather deluxe-looking ground transport, which took us to Ori High Command offices. "I have arranged for investigators from the Criminal Justice Unit to meet with us. By now they have received the evidence you transmitted to us. I am excited to see what you have for us this time. he said. You won't be disappointed, I said. We arrived at the Ori High Command. It was a huge, sprawling complex of buildings. We followed Taron as he directed us into a large meeting room with tall ceilings. There were about a dozen investigators in there, already viewing video footage on multiple displays around the room. As we walked into the room, they all paused their viewing and turned towards us. One being approached our group. This is Chief Investigator Yus. He has been appointed to lead our team of investigators on this project, said Minister Taron. We are pleased to meet with you, Chief Investigator Yus. I am Captain Jem. This is Commander Brian, Lieutenant Kaluna, and Ensign Lane, said Jem. We have only begun to examine the evidence you have provided us. What I have seen so far is impressive, said Yus. Thank you. We are here to walk you through the events that happened and the evidence gathered. I would like to have my commander start by outlining the events, and then we could go into the evidence. Would that be acceptable? Asked Jem. Most acceptable, replied Yus. I did not realize I had to give a speech, or I would have prepared, or maybe I would have feigned an illness to avoid coming. Everyone took their seats as I walked up to one end of the room, where there was a large display. I had an idea. I approached Yus. Excuse me, can I make use of your display? Would you permit me to interface the AI from our vessel to this display? I asked. Yus nodded. He tapped something on his device and nodded again. I tapped on my communicator. Ship, I am in a large meeting room, and would you be able to interface with the display near me? I have to do an introduction, and perhaps you can use it to show some images or videos that would help my presentation, I asked. Confirmed. Access established. I will keep an open channel on your communicator to listen to your introduction, and I will provide what visual aids are as appropriate, replied Ship. Awesome. The display showed a view of the trading post from where we approached it, and before it was destroyed. I turned my back to the display and faced the room. I could do this. Good morning, everyone. I am Brian, commander aboard the Baglaji vessel. I assume you were all briefed about our last visit here, when we reported the loss of the Apollunar and the subsequent destruction of all the pirate vessels. I got several nods. Good. Well, one thing that bothered me was how did the pirates know where to intercept the Apollunar in deep space? When traveling between star systems, the distance is so large, it should be impossible to predict where a freighter will be, unless they had foreknowledge. The point of intercept suggests that the pirates knew the flight path of the Apollunar, and the last place the freighter visited before being destroyed was the space station known as the Trading Post. We went there to search for information. Our theory was that a being or beings aboard the space station were colluding with the pirates. We asked and got permission to interview staff and check communications logs. During our investigation, we discovered the body of a communications officer with what looked to be a fake suicide. Further tracking his movements before his death, showing he visited a remote storage room. When we went to investigate, the guards attacked us. We defended ourselves and escaped back to our vessel just before the station was destroyed. Lieutenant Kaluna was abducted by Tobis, and he left aboard his vessel. We pursued him to a remote system where he had arranged an ambush. We destroyed all the pirate vessels except Tobis's vessel, which we captured. This is the vessel we brought with us to transport the crew as prisoners. We interviewed the prisoners and we downloaded and examined the logs from Tobis's vessel All their testimony and corroborating evidence is in the package you now have. I moved away from the display to show I had concluded my presentation. I had not seen what Ship had shown them, but they were all wide-eyed and impressed. Lane was looking at me with admiration and smiles. I did not do this for her and did not mean to encourage her. I was just trying to do my job. Her reaction bothered me, but I tried to hide any negative reaction while in front of an audience. Jem stood up. Thank you for your concise introduction. Yes, do we need to take a break before continuing? Yus looked a little stunned. Yes, I think that is a good idea. We will reconvene in half an hour. During the break, Jem approached Kaluna. Lieutenant, when we resume, I would like you to walk them through the testimony from the interviews. Yes, Captain, replied Kaluna. Ship can interface with the display on the wall. You can just talk about the information and they will see it on the display, I said. Yes, that would help, thank you, said Kaluna. About then, Yus guided everyone back into the meeting room. I noticed that some of the investigators had remained in there during the break to look through evidence. Jem stood and addressed the group. Next, Lieutenant Kaluna will walk you through the testimony from the interviews. Kaluna walked to the front of the room. On the display was a list of names. This is a crew manifest of Tobis's vessel. The marked ones are those who have given testimony. We have video recordings and transcripts translated into Ori for each one in the evidence package. Further, we have distilled their testimony down to the salient points. The bullet list of highlights was on the display behind her. I won't go into this, but you can see that the pirates, under the leadership of Tobis, captured the trading post and used the situation to prey upon freighters that visited the station. For each of the key points above, we have cross-referenced to the testimonies and also data gathered from other sources, such as the logs from Tobis's vessel. All of that is in the evidence package. Kaluna indicated she was done. Chief Investigator Yus stood. Thank you, Lieutenant. Your team has done a thorough job gathering and organizing the evidence. We will need a few days to study it. The meeting was adjourned. As we left the meeting room, the minister gathered us together. Captain, I have arranged some suitable accommodation at the hotel across the street from here. The Ori government is picking up the tab for your stay. Kaluna, when I first heard that you were visiting, I contacted your parents to let them know you were in town. I expect they should be in their suite in the hotel by now. It is on the same floor. Kaluna was smiling so much she looked like she was going insane. Thank you, Minister. Your hospitality is most appreciated. No doubt Chief Investigator Yus will be in contact with us as and when they need to, said Jem. Of that I have no doubt. Taran passed Jem a communications device. This will enable the investigators to reach you. I smiled. Excuse me, Minister. There was a Commander Quan who met us in the shuttle. I promised to meet with him. Would it be possible you could get word to him where to find us? Most certainly, Commander, replied Taran. He pulled out another communicator and sent a brief message. I have sent him details of your accommodation and also the ID for the communicator I gave to your captain. May I ask your interest in him? Certainly. He is family to one of the deceased crew from the Apollo Nar. We are to drink to their memory. I made him a promise, I said. I noticed Kaluna was bouncing about talking with Lane. Your actions to honor the memory of the deceased touches me deeply. You were not born Ori, yet you do more for the Ori Confederation than most who were. Thank you, the minister said. They were my crewmates. They were family, or as close to one as I ever knew. I grew up in an orphanage. I miss them. They died too soon, I said strongly. The minister looked visibly shaken. Perhaps during your stay, you would do me a favor. There are many grieving family members of those who died at the hands of these pirates. If you could spare the time to give an interview, it could give them closure, asked the minister. Please ask them to contact me via the communicator. I will make time for them in our schedule. I will also get Kaluna to participate once she calms down from meeting her parents, I smiled. The minister shook my hand warmly. Thank you, Brian. You are a true patriot. Now I must go. Matters of state and all that. And he was gone. After the minister left us alone, there was no reason to remain at the Ori High Command. Kaluna literally dragged us across the street to the hotel they had arranged for us. When we arrived, the check-in procedure involved scanning the ID chip on our arm. Soon after, we were escorted up to an enormous suite that included at least 4 bedrooms and had a balcony view of the city below. I had never been in a place as nice as this before. It was gone midday, and I was feeling somewhat tired from our meeting with the investigators. I hoped that they would be so focused on the evidence that we would have time to just rest or do some shopping. I knew Kaluna enjoyed shopping. Our away team uniforms were good protection from anything, including energy weapons to a decompression, but they were not so comfortable to be in all day. I asked Kaluna about finding us something else to wear. Kaluna went over to a screen on the wall and pressed a few buttons. Brian, please come and stand over here, she said. I did so, and the device in the wall scanned me. Kaluna then looked through a catalogue of garments and selected some for me. I would normally have picked for myself, but I knew not to offend her when she was helping me. Picking out clothing for me suddenly became a team event. I was moved to the side as the 3 of them browsed the choices available. Shortly, I had a replicated change of clothes. I took them from Kaluna and was about to go into one bedroom to wash up and change. Hold on, Brian, said Lane. Kaluna, can you have it scan me next? I waited patiently while the device scanned her to get her measurements. She whispered something to Kaluna and then grabbed my arm and said, I'm ready, let's go. We entered a huge bedroom. I dropped my clothes on the bed and we proceeded directly to the bathroom. Lane and I helped each other remove our away team uniforms. They were tricky to remove on your own, as they had to be airtight. This suite was equipped with a real water shower. It was not something I was familiar with. It seemed Lane knew what to do. Soon we were both underneath a hot shower and helping to wash away the stress of the day. Lane was looking up at me a lot with those eyes of hers. I did not dare discourage her feelings, but I did not encourage her either. I just relaxed into the shower experience. How are you liking your visit to Ori Major so far? I asked after we had been a while under the hot water. This is amazing, brilliant, awesome, she replied. You and Kaluna both spoke to the highest ranking investigators on this planet, and they treated you as equals. Kaluna said Minister Taron is one of the top beings in their government, and you were chatting with him like old friends. It is so fantastic, exclaimed Lane. I thought better of sharing my first experience on Ori Major. She was floating on the clouds, and who was I to bring her down? Besides, that was behind me now. After we finished cleaning up, we returned to the bedroom. Lane picked up an outfit that had been left for her on the bed. We both got changed. It felt delightful to be in clean clothes. My outfit was stylish but casual, not something I would have chosen for myself, but if it pleased Kaluna, it was no chore to wear. Lane wore a pattern dress, which was a big change from jumpsuits and uniforms I was used to seeing her in. The transformation was startling. I wondered what the others had chosen for themselves. Lane, please don't recycle our away team uniforms. They contain Baglogy technology, and we are not yet ready to share it with our hosts, I said. Lane nodded. She gathered up our uniforms and put them in a closet. I wonder where the others are, I mused aloud. Probably doing the same as we did in one of the other rooms, replied Lane. I thought about disturbing them, but then decided against it. But the bed looked extremely comfortable, so I kicked off my new replicated shoes and laid back to try it out. Lane laid down by my side. Soon we were fast asleep. I was awoke by Lane nudging me. Hey, Jem says it is time to get up. Okay, I'm awake, I grumbled. I looked at Lane, all smiling as usual, so I changed gears and smiled back at her. We got up from the bed. I visited the washroom, and then Lane and I left the bedroom back into the living area of the suite. Jem and Kaluna were sitting on a sofa and talking with Kaluna's parents. They turned towards us. Hello again, I said to her parents. I was just saying we were catching up on some sleep. How are you feeling now? Asked Jem. Much better, thank you, I replied. Good. We are all going to get dinner. The hotel has a nice restaurant on the top floor with a view, said Jem. Sounds like a plan. Lead on, I replied. Mother, this is Lane. She joined our crew since our last visit, said Kaluna. I'm pleased to meet you, Lane, said her mother. Lane smiled. We all took the elevator up to the top floor, and it opened into a foyer, and from there we walked into the restaurant. We were soon seated and treated as VIBs, very important beings. Kaluna's father spoke to me. I understand you saved our daughter's life again. I made an error in judgment which allowed her to get captured by the leader of the pirates. I did what I had to do to rescue her, I replied. The point is, she is safe. You got her back, and she seems no worse for the experience, he said. I will be more cautious who I trust next time, I said. He killed over 100 pirates to get me back, Kaluna cut in. This is the first I heard. I never asked Ship for a count of the dead pirates. They were irrelevant to me. He did, eh? They were waiting to ambush us in an uninhabited system. They would have killed us just as easily, I said. Still, it says something. You would go that far to rescue our daughter. Thank you, he said. I hadn't thought of it that way, I said. I felt rather awkward. I was Tin, and as a Tin, we did not have feelings or care about anything or anyone. I did what I felt was the right thing to do. The way they saw it, my actions seemed extreme. We placed our orders, and they scanned out the ID chips of Jem, Lane, and me to confirm our choices were safe for us. How long are you visiting Ori Major this visit? Asked Kaluna's mother. I'm not sure yet. We have meetings with the investigators from the Criminal Justice Unit, and I don't know how long it will take, replied Jem. Will you be busy most of the time? She asked. I don't know yet, but I promised Kaluna we would have time to go shopping and to see the sights with you, answered Jem. This cheered up both Kaluna and her mother. The communications device Jem received from the minister rang, and she looked at it and passed it to me. It was an incoming call from Commander Kwan. Hello, this is Brian, I said. I got your message. I presume this is about meeting up for a drink, he said. Yes, what is your schedule like? I asked. Would this evening work for you? Around 0800 local? I checked with Jem. Yes. Do you have a location in mind? Sure. I have a favorite called Gorns. Let me text you the address. Show it to any taxi and they will know where to go. Okay, I got it. See you there. I hung up the call. The others looked at me. I have an appointment to see Commander Kwan this evening. He is family to Yarin, the former chief engineer aboard the Apollo Na, I explained. I got some nods in return. Do you need me to come with you, Brian? Asked Kaluna. No, this is just me and the commander. I can handle this. You spend some time with your parents, I replied. She smiled. I also noticed her mother smile and nod behind her. Well, that's the end of this chapter and this episode. And next episode will be chapter 9, A Drink and a Walk. So until next time, see you then. Bye.